Digimon has a ton of different stories at this point. One of my personal favorite, and what I deem the most slept on in the series, is Digimon Frontiers. Not only does it introduce us to some of the most interesting lore in the series involving the human versus beast Digimon war, it also introduces us to some of the coolest Digimon, design and lore-wise within the series, such as the best villain, Lucemon, and the Digimon we're talking about today, Agunimon. So who or what exactly is Agunimon? Agunimon is one of the human spirits, said to be a hybrid level Digimon, similar to that of Armor Digivolutions, with the power stated to be similar to that of a champion level Digimon. Created by Ancient Greymon alongside Burning Greymon, who is the beast parallel to Agunimon, either during or after the warriors fight with Lucemon when they manage to seal him away in the dark area. I say either during or after because Frontier implies all of the ancient warriors died in the fight with Lucemon, creating the spirits as they passed, whereas other media says Ancient Greymon and Ancient Garurumon survived, creating their spirits long after the other ancient warriors did, but still dying prior to the current timeline. Agunimon, being the human spirit of Ancient Greymon, is stated to not only be able to wield flames that bear the might of Ancient Greymon, but also has a digicore wrapped in spiritual flames called the Holy Blaze. This allows Agunimon to freely manipulate flames to his will. We see this clearly in his fight with Cerbermon, as he is able to outright tank Cerbermon's flame-based attacks. On top of this, Agunimon is a manifestation of the Firewall, or a being created to defend the net. And due to this and the other factors mentioned prior, he is seen as a deity. Wielded by Takuya in the Frontiers anime, starting out as a shadowy alter ego, he slowly began to take on Takuya's personality. Agunimon has one of the best designs in the series and definitely left a massive impact on me. Now let's take a look at his true strength and see if he's really just as strong as a champion level Digimon. As mentioned above, Agunimon is stated to be a hybrid level Digimon. Similar to Armor Digimon, this means that the level of the Warrior Spirit Digimon can be played extremely loose. This means in multiple different forms of media, we see Agunimon used as anything from an actual hybrid level to a rookie level to a champion level Digimon. Similar to the Armor Digimon in Digimon Adventure 02, most media seem to point to them as a champion level. Flamedramon is even a side evolution option for Agunimon. But unlike the Armor Digimon like Flamedramon, Agunimon immediately has more impressive feats. As I mentioned prior, in his very first showing, Agunimon was able to go toe-to-toe with Cerbermon, defeating him and scanning his fractal code. And keep in mind, while the human spirits, unlike the beast spirits, are relatively easy to control, it still takes Takuya and the other kids time to get used to even being Digimon. Even after being sent to the dark area, giving Cerbermon a home field advantage, Agunimon is able to completely style on Cerbermon. Cerbermon, being a perfect level Digimon, gives us a great first glance at the power of Agunimon. And I know what you're thinking, Panda, you said Agunimon has the Holy Blaze, which allows him to manipulate flames to his will. He should be able to cancel out any fire-based attacks with that. Well, that is most certainly not the only perfect level Digimon Agunimon has fought. We see later in the series, Agunimon is able to make quick work of an Ice Leomon, and I know, Ice Leomon. Agunimon should be a hard counter. But we see in this fight that not only is Ice Leomon's ranged attacks being cancelled out, we see that speed and hand-to-hand wise, Agunimon is able to keep up and even overpower Ice Leomon. Being the guardian of Seraphimon's ice area, Seraphimon being one of the 3 Archangel Digimon, it's safe to say that Ice Leomon was definitely a well-experienced and strong fighter. And even if you don't want to take that at face value, we see Agunimon take on a Parrotmon one-on-one. Parrotmon is slept on, by the way, one of the best bird Digimon ever. At this point in the series, Agunimon is able to take on and defeat Parrotmon, making it seem like a trivial matter. Parrotmon also being a perfect level who uses electricity to attack, meaning Agunimon should not have a direct advantage over this Digimon. And Agunimon was able to practically one-shot this Digimon. And at this point, Takuya had access to his beast spirit, typically seen as the perfect level of the hybrids, and did not feel the need to use it. We can back this up by taking a look at some of the other human spirits like Beetlemon or Blitzmon, whichever you prefer. Beetlemon was able to take on and defeat multiple perfect level Digimon as well. In one instance, he was able to take down Cherrymon very simply and easily, similar to how Agunimon was able to handle the 3 mentioned prior. While Beetlemon is the spirit of thunder, he should have no inherent inherent advantage over Cherrymon. Even if you think he does, Beetlemon was able to take out a Volcamon who, similar to Iceleomon, should have been an experienced Digimon as one of Seraphimon's perfect level guardians. So it's pretty consistent to say that Agunimon should have the power of at least a mid-tier, if not a high-tier ultimate. So where does that land him on the tiering system? If we are saying that Agunimon should be at least a mid-tier perfect level in power, it should be safe to assume that he scales to the likes of Adventure Mega Kabuterimon, Adventure Metal Greymon, and O2 Paildramon. As I've spoken about probably 50 times now, we know that a fresh Mega Kabuterimon was able to fight on par with and defeat Vatamon. This same Vatamon was able to create a universal structure stated both within the series, in the light novel for Adventure, and the Digimon Adventure data cards. Mega Kabuterimon was able to destroy that same structure and escape before the collapse of it hurt either him or Izzy. So at a bare minimum, Agunimon should sit comfortably in the universal ranges, but we can take a further look into Digimon like Skull Greymon. In Adventure 02, there is a point where Ken Ichijoji, as the Digimon Kaiser, had kidnapped Tai's Agumon, forcing him to digivolve into Skull Greymon. Izzy speculates that with the power of Skull Greymon, Ken could destroy the digital world. This same Skull Greymon who scared Etamon as a mindless beast is then outscaled by a freshly formed Metal Greymon. Metal Greymon is tasked with the chore of taking out Etamon Chaos Mode. We see that Etamon Chaos Mode, simply by existing and with casual attacks, is able to warp the fabric of space itself, alongside seemingly warping the entire digital world in this time. This same version of Etamon was stated to have the power to wipe out the digital world in external media. Metal Greymon was able to defeat him and at the same time ripped apart the fabric of the digital world, sending Tai and Metal Greymon back to the human world. We can confirm this level of power by looking at Adventure 02 Paildramon. In episode 26 and 27 of Adventure 02, Ken and Davis need to stop one of Ken's old bases from exploding. This base, drawing its energy from the dark area, has absorbed enough power to wipe out the digital world. Paildramon was able to cancel out this explosion and disperse the energy building up in the base with one of his very own attacks, thus stopping the destruction of the digital world. Considering these feats were not actively reaching out to other dimensions, unlike the Apocalypse feats mentioned in my previous video, this likely would not have affected the higher realms of the digital world, such as Kernel or other areas like Cocytus, as Homeostasis and Yggdrasil didn't seem to view Digimon like Etamon as a true threat. These same threats also seem to have no major effect on the human world as well. We see Izzy isn't even worried about his own safety when posed with the threat of Ken's old base exploding. And while the dimensional barrier of the digital world had been worn down when Tai arrived back in the human world, as Digimon seemed to be semi-appearing in the real world, that was more Vamdamon's doing rather than Etamon's. So it's safe to say while these feats are extremely impressive, unlike Apocalypse, they likely were only going to affect the physical digital world itself, rather than the entire balance of the Digimon multiverse. That being said, again, it is still extremely impressive, as the Adventure digital world should be an infinitely sized, possibly infinitely layered structure, definitely multi-layered at least, similar to that of the Dark Area as they parallel each other. So with Agunimon scaling to mid to high tier perfect levels, and perfect level Digimon when freshly evolved are performing feats from destroying universal structures to threatening the entire digital world, which is not only itself infinite in size and possibly infinitely layered, also contains universal size pocket dimensions created by perfect level or higher Digimon, this should put him cleanly in the multiversal tier with a low ball of high universal and a high ball of multiversal plus. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and the new structure I've decided to introduce. Keep an eye out for the poll to decide my next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want, that is, and have a wonderful day. So with Agumon, not Agumon, that's not Agumon, that's Agunimon.